Hey guys, give me a second. Whoops. I gotta turn my thing down. Hey guys, give me a second. What is the deal? There we go. All right. So, I gotta get in here like this. Hey, good morning. Yep, I brushed my hair. I may have morning hair yet. I don't know. I put it up. I tried. I don't know. It's grown out. It's not to the point where I want it to be. Anyway, enough about me. Oh my gosh. So today we're going to paint an elephant. Let's go. Let's go. All right. So I got my palette ready. I went ahead and put black and white on separate plates because for some reason I use a lot of white. I don't know if I'm going to use the black. But on another plate, I mixed my gray. Instead of black and white, I mix Prussian blue and cadmium red deep hue together, and then I did my color string. So those two together equals that, and then I started adding a little bit of white and then a little bit of white. So I have the dark, the medium, and the light, and I could even go lighter than that, but I'm thinking I will be using that towards the very end, so I'm keeping that covered up. So on my regular palette, I have my colors, and I added one color string to each. That means I added a little bit of white one time. Now I can go more and more and more, but I don't know if I'm going to use them all. So going down through the colors I used, that is red oxide. This is yellow ochre. This is the cadmium red deep. The orange is cadmium orange. The yellow is cadmium yellow. And then back up here, this is Prussian blue. That is, I can't read it, bright aqua. And then that is turquoise blue. This is ultramarine blue. And then I have a green oxide. And like I said, I added one color string white to each of those. We're just going to get some color on there first. So I like to use these short, stiff brushes. You can use whatever you have. They're called Brights, and they're just really good because you can like scrub the paint in there and everything. So I'm going to start with this. It is a number 8. So I'm going to wet my brush down. Where's my squirter? Give me a second. I don't see it. It's here. Where did it go? Well, I'll just dip it in my water, I guess. Okay. I have to have. Oh, it's right there behind me. Got it. All right. So, hold on. I'm trying to get my other thing here in case I need it. All right, so let's start with the darker colors, which means your base colors, without any white in them. And I think I want to start with the red oxide, like in towards the ears. And I have the picture over here. Did I show you the picture? We're going to paint it our way. We don't have to paint it this way. So if you guys want to print it off, take a picture of that. That's the picture. That is the outline. So just going by colors, your darker colors are going to sit in these shadows. In those ears, and just bring that out a little bit. Don't worry about coloring it all in, because then under here is going to be a shadow, and just droop it down. Just bring it down. We're going to paint really loose today. Just kind of get that loose painting. I'm really loving, because I used to stress about perfection in my paintings, and I just love this bold colorway that I learned, and it's just so much better. I don't have to sit and study things so much. So you can look at that elephant and look where the darker colors are. You don't have to even see my face. So how about we do this? How about that? So in the ears are going to be shadows. Behind here, behind the tusk, are going to be shadows. Up underneath, under the body, shadows. This section right here is kind of a fold in his skin. That's going to be shadowed. And back here is going to be shadowed. So just go ahead and start putting the colors in there. Oh, do I have my thingy? I don't even have it locked in. There we go. Oh my gosh. All right, I really like this red oxide. It's a really pretty rust color. That one's going to be kind of shadowed since it's the lowest one in his ear. Just bring that out, because you're going to see these folds in his ear are going to be shadowed. Up, let's see, where's that one? Up behind here is going to be a little shadow. Down here. Trust me, we're going to be doing layers. Now I'm hoping to get this all done in one shot, but we may have to take this into a two-parter. But we're going to paint just loose and quick, and so right in here we want some. This is a darker side, so let's come down this side of the trunk. Just light, you don't have to. And you can go underneath that line. Give that a shadow. All those creases are shadows. And if you just want to watch for today, that's fine. Give yourself some time. You can stop and stop the video after the live is done and take your own pace at it. Because to follow along with me on camera is going to be pretty tough. So I'm just trying to shade. This is where my light source is coming from, and this is the dark side, because you can see the background. I did a lighter side over here and a darker side here. Now, like I said, that may change, so we will see. Down in here is dark. Around that eye is dark. Let's put a little bit on the other side. This is dark coming up through here. That fold in there will be shadowed. I'm going to leave his tusks white because we'll probably come back to that. We'll do a lighter version of this red oxide. And through here is shadowed. Let's bring this shadow all the way down here because of his trunk. I'm not completely drawn in his legs or the rest of his body. This is just gonna, we're focusing on the head mainly. So underneath here, let's just do a little bit of that. All right, we might be ready to go on to the next color then. Just want to make sure I'm double checking. So if you squint, does this look like shadows? That's what I'm trying to get at. When you squint at your picture that you're drawing from, you should see these shadows. You should see the very highlight and you should see the very dark. Now the midtones are going to be the hard part to figure out, but this is why I go dark first. Let me clean that brush out really good. And then I'm going to go with some lighter colors next. Now I'm not going to go light values yet. I'm going to go light color. So my next, excuse me, my next color for the highlights will be probably yellow. Or we could go, you know what, here. We can go with this color and then the yellow. Because if you look at them, this is lighter than that. This is darker than that. This is darker than all of them. If you just look at your colors, kind of squint, and you can see which ones are lighter and darker. So we're gonna go, let's go with this teal, this green teal first. Let's put some of that on, then we'll come back with some white. Now we're looking for highlights. So where the light is going to be hitting it mostly. So let's do, this is, I mean, mine is not going to totally match that. There's probably, that's probably lighter there. Mine thing is not going to totally match the source, the picture that I'm going by. So here's probably going to be lighter. This will be lighter. Let's put some up in here. Now you can start overlapping. It's okay. We'll come back to his eye, the very last. That's going to be lighter because that's hitting, that's the raised part of his head. And so this side, it's mostly the outer parts, because if the sun's coming from this way, this side is still kind of shaded, so it's probably just that tip of his ear that's going to get some light, if that makes sense. And you can bring it up onto the ridges of those folds, like this would be the dark side, that's going to be the high side. Don't forget we're going to bring in some yellow too, so. I think we'll go here with some all the way down. I have to get some more. So this side is going to have a little bit of it. On these tests, we're going to come back with some of these really pretty colors like the turquoise and the teal and add that on. I need more. like I said, don't get too worried about in here because that is just abstract. It's just shadowed, so. So now let's add in some yellow. Oops, I got the wrong yellow. Okay. All right. You can, let's bring in some more around here because this is really highlighted up there. But see how loose I am? I'm not going in the lines. I'm not worried about overlapping. And these colors, if they're still wet, they kind of mix in a little together, and it's kind of neat. It's kind of a neat blending. Okay. Let's put a little bit extra there. That's going to be a good little highlight there. Around that edge of his face. So we're starting to see where it's filling in, but we're going to go way over top of that and mess it up all over again because we're going to add some more colors to it. See how that kind of turned in orange? I like that. That red oxide over that, or the yellow, yellow, cadmium yellow over the red oxide. Okay, let's go to, I keep getting in my lighter color. Let's go to the other side. On that very top, we're going to see a highlight because that sun is going to hit that tip. So. And if you have any questions as we are going along, please feel free to go ahead and ask right in the comments. I will get the notifications if you're watching this on replay. So, we're going to highlight the back side of that eye because it should have a little bit of highlight coming around. Let's add some yellow over here because this is light. Alright, let's continue. I may need more yellow. We'll go ahead and fill this all in. Need more yellow. Oh, for God's sakes. I'm trying to get the lid off. Oh my gosh. It's so hard. Alright, continuing with this. And see how I like this brush, this style of brush, because you can scrub and it's stiff. I really do like this brand or this style. It's called a Shorty. It's probably backwards on there, but it's a Shorty Bright, and I got them off Amazon. You'll see they are very, very different than probably any other brushes you probably used. So I think I'm going to go ahead and use the yellow on the tusks right now and get them colored, and we can always come back, and we will probably come back and use the second value that I mixed up here. All right. Okay, let's move on to a mid-tone. So a mid-tone is something in between the dark red oxide and the light yellow. So how about we could do a green? We could do some green on there. Let's use the turquoise. Let's go with the turquoise for our mid-tone, just straight up turquoise. Now, that is going to be in between your shadow and your highlight. So you can come in and bring that where that shadow is and the highlight is, come in between. Blend it out. I'm getting a streak. One side is heavier than the other. So your mid-tone is, like I said, that color or that value in between your shadow and your highlight. So see what I'm trying to do? Here's the shadow, here's the highlight. I'm kind of going in between. And I'm trying to blend them in, overlap them. Overlap them a little bit. I'm going to come down here. This is a good place for this color. So I'm just going to Blend that into those areas in between the highlight and the shadow. Did I say that right? Yeah. And you can take your spray bottle if you want and blend that a little more, but I'm not going to, because I want this to be just bold strokes, and I don't want it to be, see this? I want it patchy like that, because we're still going to bring in purple down here yet. Okay. All right. See how far we've come so far? I mean, in that short of time. All right, now we're going to go back to our next color. Let's add some, I gotta flip my thing. We're gonna do the eyes and the detail on the test very last. Let's add some purple. Let's go ahead and get purple done. I don't even have purple on here. Huh, well that's crazy. Let's get some purple. I gotta find it, there it is. And the purple is dioxazine purple. It's probably backwards. And I'm just using straight up purple. Let me get a drink of my coffee here. But look at your color wheel. And I mean, obviously purple is darker than yellow. So, and we're just, see now we're just gonna we're gonna be overlapping that red. And the darkest, we're gonna bring it in and blend it in. Not blending, but just bringing it in on top. It does help if your board is staying still. This is very dark up in here. We're gonna go ahead and add that in here. This side isn't going to be as dark down below because that's the light side. So I'm not going to bring it down as far as I did over here with the other. May have to switch to my other brush. Now some fun things you can do, which I'm going to show you here real quick, is you can take your squirt bottle. I lost it again. Your squirt bottle, and you can get some really cool drips. And I'll hold that up in just a second. Down. Can you guys see that? Can you guys see the drips? Let's see. Where can I make one really obvious? How about right in here? Alright, so I freshly painted that. I'm going to spray real close and see how those drips come down. Could you see that? Okay. Alright, you can do that effect, but I think I might do that later on. Oh, I gotta keep working with purple. Alright. So let's add some more of this. Some purple in here because this was the darkest. Let's go up into that. I don't want to completely hide the red, the red oxide, the red oxide, but I'm just layering over top of it. Bring it in. I might even bring that out a little bit more. Up into the wrinkles of his eye with it. Let's come on this side of that tusk. Come this side. Now he's gonna look angry. I have an angry elephant. Now again, we're looking for shadows, so that turned out to be a really cool effect actually over there. Just continue to work with that purple into those shadowed areas. I'm going to bring it out a little bit more on this side like I did the red oxide because that side is shadowed a little bit more. It is darker. And it's going to overlap that I don't know what that is. It's going to overlap that teal that we put on there. Okay, let's add. I think we need to add a little bit more to the trunk. You want to just keep working. Make sure you're hitting all the shadows before you move on. Okay, so I'm looking back in the camera and I'm gonna look at it and see, sometimes if you stare at this too long, you can look in the camera and then you can actually see where you need to go back in and work an area. So I see, is it this side? I think this side needs more purple. Yeah. So I want to, right here, bring that in a little, or work that in a little bit more. It was just not looking balanced. Okay. All right, now let's work some orange in there. I think that's going to be my next highlight color. So I'm using the cadmium orange. I wonder how long I've been on here. Okay, I'll probably work 15 more minutes. I don't want to go too long in more than hour sessions. So let's work in some orange, and then I'll probably maybe take a break, and I'll come back and do part 2. I thought I was gonna get. We got a lot done. So the orange is gonna be the highlight. So again, we're gonna bring it in over those yellows. but don't completely cover it up. Forgot what color I was using. I'm just going to go work it down the trunk. Bring it in over into that aqua that we used, or teal, whatever you want to call it. You really haven't even brought any second values in yet. These are all just basic colors. So I like that there. Okay, so now let's go over here. Remember, this was a lighter color, so I'm using it as I did the yellow. See how you just layer and layer and layer? You just really have to look at your colors. And look at the value of the basic colors, and then, you know, when you do your color strings, you really learn how many values you can actually get out of one color. And you can go from there. And right now I'm not even actually looking at the photograph that I have, or the picture that I have. I'm just going back over where I know I had those highlights at. I'm not worried about going out of the lines either. Okay, I want to get down in here, 'cause that's not really covered up. Go back over this a little bit. All right, let's see. Some down on the bottom. On this side, I think. That's still wet from when I did that drip. That's all right. It's all right. That's the thing, is don't worry, because it's just paint, and you can always cover it up. I'm going to put some over here just to pull in both sides. Add some color to the tusk for kind of a shadow. I'm kind of mixing that orange and that red oxide together to get this kind of a blend. Alright, so we've done orange. Hey, Kim, thanks. Okay, I'm going to go to part 2, so this isn't so daunting and long for you guys, but I'll be right back for part 2. Okay? Bye.